The Braves looked dead in the water. They were down 4-0 going into the 6th inning. Max Fried was terrible. Zach Wheeler looked unhittable. So naturally, the Braves won 5-4, ending on one of the craziest catches you will ever see. It's BravesKast, and we're going to talk about Game 2 of the NLDS. Wow. That might have been one of the craziest games I have ever seen. For 6 innings, pretty much, the Braves looked like they had no answer. Max Fried, he came out of the gate looking a little rusty. He allowed the 1 run in the first inning. He loaded the bases. He threw over 30 pitches in that first inning alone. He allowed that 2-run homer to JT Realmuto. The Braves didn't have a clean inning except for the 8th inning the entire game. Every single inning, aside from the 8th inning, there was a base runner. Every single pitcher who pitched tonight had a base runner on. The Braves couldn't touch Zach Wheeler. He struck out 8 of the first 9 batters. The only batter who didn't strike out reached on a fielding error. At one point, I was messaging Cole, no more fielders. We'll have a full breakdown on the first 2 games tomorrow, or probably going live on Wednesday morning. But I had to cover this game. I messaged Cole and said that the Braves' expected batting average, what Baseball Savant breaks down as launch angle and exit velocity, how often those combos go for hits, was .024. You really couldn't have any worse. And even after Wheeler stopped striking out batters, the Braves had really easy can of corn fly balls, grounders right at fielders, soft grounders or hard grounders that were hit right into the dirt, easy for a fielder to field. And they really had no life until Ronald Acuna Jr. took a walk. It was the first base runner in the 6th inning. It was the first base runner since Olsen had reached in the 2nd inning. And then Ozzy Albies hits a liner to right field. Trey Turner misplays the throw in, and Acuna takes home, and it's 4-1. But there were no clean innings in the 7th inning. Pierce Johnson came on, allowed runners. I think he only allowed the 1 runner, I believe. But yeah, there were no clean innings in the bottom of the 7th. Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, sent out Zach Wheeler for another inning. His pitch count was only in the mid 80s, I believe. And if you think that Zach Wheeler shouldn't have gone out after the way he'd been pitching against the Braves, then you're a fortune teller, or you're a time traveler. I thought he was going to eat up the Braves in the 7th inning. The Braves had started to hit him a little harder, but they still had easy quick outs, 1, 2, 3 pitches, and then Matt Olson gets on a hard hit single. Marcell Ozuna strikes out, and then Travis d'Arnaud on the first pitch. There have been a few times this year that I've watched Travis d'Arnaud hit a home run, and I went, I didn't think he could hit that hard. He hit it 110.9 off the bat, 414 feet, and suddenly the game was within 1 run. I believe an inning or two before, or in the 6th inning, the 6th inning, when Albies had reached on the single that brought home Acuna, Austin Riley had, a chance to get the game within 1 run, and he struck out on a pitch that, frankly, the umpire had not been calling a strike all game. Pilar had struck out on a strike that he didn't like. That was clearly a strike. Or Ozuna, in the early innings when Zach Wheeler was eating everybody up, he struck out on a pitch that he didn't like. That was clearly a strike. But there were a lot of borderline strike calls. The umping is a hard job. If you've ever taken that test by the New York Times, can you umpire? You get 5 out of the 8 calls right. It's a hard job, but the umpire wasn't giving the corners to Fried early in the game. It led to a Trey Turner double, which led to the first run of the game. And Wheeler has great movement. He has that sweep across movement that really worked for him and it kind of swept across the zone. It was kind of in the same place as that last ball, the pitch before, and Riley got rung up in the sixth. And so when he came up in the eighth, he was working hard at bat. He got it to a full count. Wow. Oftentimes when the camera angle pans up like that, I get fooled. I think, I've had to train myself to believe that those are gonna get caught. That those high arcing angles, and especially if you watch the replay on Austin Riley's homer, he swung with one hand. He lost. He was off balance, and he still well into to left field bullpen. He got it out, and that took the 5-4 lead. I'm sure the rest of you also felt this way during the early happenings of the game, where it felt like the Phillies could not have base runners on, and the Braves didn't know how to get a base runner on at all. That we were going to head to Philadelphia, the Braves were going to head to Philadelphia with a 0-2 deficit. And in the division series history, there have been teams who have overcome an 0-2 deficit, but it's been two or three times. One of them was the 95 Mariners, and they ran out of gas the next round. It would have been really hard for the Braves to, even if they won, a game in Philadelphia, to overcome it altogether. And now they were looking like they were going to have a tie going into the ninth inning. So Bryce Harper led off the ninth inning, and Brian Snitker did what I think most of us would have done. Bryce Harper is a Braves killer. Love him or hate him, he's a Braves killer. He's a clutch Braves killer. He knows the moment. If you watch last year in the NLCS, there was this moment against the Padres where everybody knew a home run was coming, and the home run happened. And to mitigate that, you would rather have AJ Minter, a lefty, than Raisel Iglesias, the righty, who Harper has owned, especially this year. Minter walks Harper on 5 pitches. And so Iglesias comes in, he gets the pop out to Albies, and then Nick Castellanos comes up to the plate. If you're a chronically online baseball fan like myself, you know the Nick Castellanos lore. Anytime anything unfortunate happens, he's there to hit a home run. And there's been some world events that have been pretty unfortunate, to say the least. It seemed like a perfect time for the Nick Castellanos home run. And he hits a line shot to center field. It looks like it's going to be maybe off the wall, maybe over the fence. Money Mike Harris tracks it down, makes a jumping catch at the fence, and Bryce Harper has strayed too far out of first. Harris gets it in as quickly as possible, but he overshoots Arcia. Albies can't handle it. And in comes Austin Riley, like Derek Jeter in the 2002 ALDS against the A's, the flip. Except Riley cut off the ball coming into the infield and made a perfect throw to Matt Olson to end the game. And the Braves are going to Philadelphia with a 1-1 tie. If you had asked me 2 hours ago if that was going to happen, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have been lying on my couch in the depths of despair. And now, there's hope. So the Braves haven't announced who is starting in Game 3 yet. I'm sure as soon as I upload this, we'll see that AJ Smith-Shawver or Bryce Elder is going to take the mound. But it sets up Strider for Game 4. And if we have a Game 5, we'll probably see Max Fried again. Fried, if you tuned in to the TBS broadcast, you probably heard the word blister 15 or 25 times in the first 10 minutes of the broadcast. Every Brian Anderson, Jeff Francoeur, they were talking about the blister nonstop. I love Frenchie as a broadcaster. I think he's an excellent broadcaster. And I think if you're not a Braves fan, or if you're not even a Phillies fan, you probably weren't aware of how long Fried had been out. He hadn't pitched in 18 days in a major league game. And the blister was the concern. During a press conference, Fried said he didn't even feel like there had been a blister. It was fully healed. As the game went along, it became clear that it wasn't necessarily the blister that was the issue. It was the long layoff. Max Fried looked very rusty. He only went 4 innings. I believe he threw 90 pitches. He had multiple base runners on every inning except for the second. I believe there was only one base runner on. He allowed that rocket shot to Real Muto. The first inning could have been way worse with the bases loaded. And so he's definitely a concern going forward. We'll have to see how that goes. The rest of the Braves bullpen was fantastic. There was only the one unearned run that scored because of the wild throwing error by Travis d'Arnaud. But, Travis d'Arnaud easily made up for it with that awesome 2-run homer to bring the score within 1 run. Like I said, Cole and I are going to come back tomorrow evening. We might even get it posted by the evening, probably Wednesday morning, with a full breakdown of the last 2 games. But I just wanted to come on and talk about tonight's crazy finish. Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe we won this. If you are looking forward to more videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're a Phillies fan, we appreciate all discourse. You guys were fantastic in the comments, the last video, the Phillies fans included. And we look forward to the rest of the series. Bye.